Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going live now. So I'm going to pull us out. Good morning, everyone. This is Kathy Mason from MasonWorks Marketing here on Conscious Business Zone with an extra special one this week because I've got one of my best friends, Trina Cooper, on, and I'm not doing most of it. She is. We're putting on an event this weekend in Boulder, Colorado for Grandmother Parisha, and Trina is the lead on it. Oh my God. So Trina, while I find the flyer and everything, would you start the conversation and I'll put you full screen, okay?
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, this weekend's event, it's going to be on Sunday, October 2nd. And we're bringing Grandmother Parisha in. We haven't had her in Denver since I think 2018. And she definitely is a force in the world. I've been working with her for many, many years. And she's going to be coming in for the day to talk about the power of prayer. So I'm really excited about this. It's going to be up in Boulder, and we'll talk a little bit more about it too. But let me give you, I'm going to just take 1 second and read a little bit about Grandmother because some people may or may not know her. She's quite powerful, yet runs a little bit low key. She's not one of those people that's out in the world tooting their own horn all the time because she gets a whole lot more done when she moves about in a more magical, powerful way. So she's been doing work in the indigenous community and, around the world for, gosh, I'm going to say she's in her 80s now. So it's been going on for at least 60 years, maybe more. So let me just give a little bio about her too, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the event. But Grandmother Parisha is a highly sought after teacher and has an international public reach, which is over 50 million people. She's presented in over 125 counties. She's known worldwide as a philanthropist, incurable people watcher. I can definitely vouch for that one. A humanitarian, a perennial student of the neurosciences, and we do a lot of brain study, that kind of work with her. She's a Cherokee Spiritual Elder and an ancient tablet keeper, interpreter, and activist. Now, her background is she's half Cherokee and half of more Celtic Irish descent. So it's always been a surprise to people when they see her because she's more fair-skinned and had flaming red hair, which was not normal for most indigenous people. But growing up with her grandmother, who was full-blooded Cherokee, and learning a lot of the traditions there, and then spending a lot of time with other indigenous groups, with the Tibetan monks, living with them for quite a long time. And she is recognized as a form of Tara with them. And she's also lived with the Hopi people and quite a few others. So she moves about in sun ceremony and is a carrier of a great amount of indigenous wisdom, as well as quantum studies and the studies of the brain, the neurosciences. And what she talks about a lot of time is the power that we have inside of us, about how we are incredibly powerful beings. And that when we learn how to harness that power, we can do amazing things. And especially to raise the good, for the good of humanity and the earth. And also the fact that we all need to step it up now. It is time for us to step it up with all the world changes that are going on at this point in time and the energetic shifts. It is time for all of us to really step it up and step into who we are, what our purpose is on the planet, what our little key piece of the puzzle is, and how do we contribute. So coming into town this week, she really wants to talk about the power of prayer and the One Heart Song program that she is that she's promoting and that she carries with her. And this is going to be something that's quite powerful. She already has people all over the world joining with it. And yeah, we'll be doing a lot with the power of prayer on this weekend. So I don't know, Kathy, if you want me to keep going, if you got anything to say.
I'll be there in 1 second.
Okay. Well, let me give you a little bit of my background too, because I'm Trina Cooper, and I'm so happy to be here today. Larry and I are in Denver, Colorado. We ran a center called Journeys for Conscious Living. It's been on hiatus a little bit because we couldn't have gatherings during COVID, and so we're getting ready to open it up back up again. And we always feature things that have to do with out-of-the-box thinking about new energy ideas, new alternative medicine ideas, thinking outside the box, sustainability, personal development, those kinds of things. And we also produce an event called Evolve Expo, which of course has been silent a couple of years as well, and we'll be picking back up again. And that also deals with all of these topics. And Grandmother's been out here for some of those, speaking on the stages, working with the people here in Circle and the power of the indigenous medicine. And it's really been absolutely fantastic. I actually met her years ago through her son and didn't really know who she was originally. We knew him through the cleaning and restoration industry, which we were in. And we got into a conversation about spirituality and things like that. And he just said, "You need to meet my mother." And we thought, that's really weird. Most people don't go, "Hey, you need to come home and meet my mom." And that's how we met her. And then we actually learned about who she was and what she did. And when we went on to actually ask her to be an elder, which you ask them, an elder is a position that is given to somebody through respect. It's not something you can go out and take a class and be anointed an elder. It's something that people actually come to you and say, they recognize you, that they recognize you with the wisdom. And so we had asked and went on to become ceremonial dancers, have been working in the circle with her for quite a long time. And I have to tell you, the power and the energy is magical. It really is magical. I have seen shifts. I've been a dancer, a ceremonial dancer for many years, and some of the shifts and the changes. And when you talk about ceremonial dances, this is not a show. This is a prayer. And that's one of the things we'll talk about some on Sunday with this program. This is using your full body as a prayer, using it as like a piston that gets the engine going, which is pretty cool, actually. And I've seen and felt amazing changes going through dancing as a ceremonial dancer. And then also, talking about some of the other power of prayer, she's going to be bringing in some of the other medicine people with her, and is actually going to be doing a ceremonial dance outside the venue in Boulder. And that dance is going to start at noon because she works with the cycles of the day. So this will be going on at noontime, and we'll do the dance first. So that will be a really powerful way to kick off this whole afternoon.
The energy will be amazing. So the last time I was with Grandmother, we did an event, and this must have been 5 years ago, 4 years ago, a long time ago, and be way before COVID. And it ended up, it was really out of time and space. I mean, the idea that when people talk about being present, they don't usually experience it. They experience someone's attention, being attentive presently. But what this was a field out of time and space. So it's like, what is grandmother talking about? I don't know.
Well, very much. I mean, we talk about the quantum field. We talk about that energy that exists. And when I do presentations, and I do these to business, which kind of freaks people out sometimes, but I go back to the old science class and say, hey, remember when we learned about the atom and how there was a nucleus with protons and neutrons and electrons circling around looking like a solar system? Well, that's all changed. It's completely different than what it was before. And as they began to study the atoms even more, the questions came up, of course, rooted in Einstein and some of the things where he said, energy is connected to matter. They're one and the same thing. And so what is that space that's between, that exists there? And now they're showing that the, electrons blink in and out by the power of the observer. So what does that really mean for us? That means what we put our focus on, what we bring our attention to, and where we put our energy, that's what's going to materialize.
Right.
So
well, the indigenous knew all of this. They were close to the earth and they understood the systems in place. And we've gotten so far away from it that this is such a gift to be in circle with someone who can reintroduce us. Well, I think we'll remember it. It's kind of in our field, but we've lost our connection to it. So that's one of the benefits of being in circle with grandmother. And as Trina just mentioned, there are others coming with her that are going to help give us an authentic experience so that we really see, not only has Trina spent years of working with grandmother and participating in these circles, but others are coming from Kingman to help support it so that we really, if you are called, if you feel the urge, this is a huge opportunity to experience maybe a once in a lifetime experience with an elder. As we said, she's in her 80s and she's got her group coming where you could really have a reconnection to who you really are at a quantum level. And she's a bridge between the indigenous information and the scientific information. So, and that's the part that's really a bonus, because a lot of times when you have indigenous, you kind of get caught in the cultural experience, but this is a bridge where she'll give you both, where it's easy for you to absorb what's available.
Yeah, what's really incredible about this, that I find really incredible, is the fact that it deals with indigenous teaching and what the power is, but it gives you a deeper understanding of it. And blending in that quantum field, blending in the field of all potential that we tap into, whether we're conscious or not. We create our days every single day, and we create our lives tapping into that field with the way we think. So the mind and the brain, the neural nets that we have, that we've created over time, are also something that blends into this, because the boxes we've created over time in our belief systems can shut us down. Like Kathy was saying, we may have forgotten that we are that powerful, and this will help bring back that information that, that we've got it. We have it there. We just have to remember it's there and to use it, developing that awareness. And, the biggest thing that stops us from doing this is the blocks. It's ourself. It's ourself. So this is an opening. It's a way to talk about it, where we deal with prayer as one modality where you can focus in and really understand how your prayers and how you can use your energies to change things and to manifest things.
Well, I want to emphasize that really, truly, because what I'm finding is, we all stood in line to get these bodies to be here right now. We're all here for this dynamic, creative change time. But most of us are still hampered by our scripts, our conditioning, our fears of being seen. And that may be multi-lifetimes of the consequences of being seen, or it may just be that little voice that needs to go, knock it off. And so that's one of the things that grandmother is a warrior about. She sees your potential. I don't know what if she's clairvoyant, clairsentient, but she is she has multiple magical skills, and she sees your potential and pushes you to participate in life at a much higher level. So this is one of those things where there aren't many people like that out there.
No.
that are see you and help you be that, right?
I've heard more than once, get over yourself. And when I think about it, it's like, oh yeah, I'm the one that's stopping me. I'm the one that's doing this. And she is magical in the way that she can point out and show you a path to really step out of those boxes and to show you how to use the magic that you are.
Right.
We talk about the uniqueness of each of us, and that each of us has a part to play. And what happens if we don't introduce our puzzle piece into the puzzle? Things are not completed. And some people will come up with their reasoning, like, I'm too busy, I'm too tired, I can't do this. Well, if you live from that field that I truly believe she lives in all the time, is in this quantum, in this field of manifestation, then you're outside space and time. Like you said, you live outside space and time. You can expand time, and science proves this. That's what's so cool. You can expand time. You do it all the time, simply by, and an example would be, okay, there's sometimes when time just seems to go flying by, and then other times where it's so slow. So it deals with your perception of time and how focused in on it you are. And when you're really, really focused, you can get stuff done so quickly, so incredible, without having interference or your attention being drawn to something else, which takes it away. And then you can create more time in your life. So this is about learning how to work with the field. And specifically, in this particular event, is like, how can we do it with prayer? How can we influence things or set the stage for something incredibly beautiful through prayer, no matter what it is? And basically, if we think of our bodies as body altars, that's one place to first look at your body and love it and pray about it. And if you're constantly saying, oh, this is ugly, this doesn't work, da 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 da, well, guess what you're creating? Because of your thoughts, you're creating more of it.
Right.
But if you really love your body and recognize it as the vehicle that's moving you around in the 3D to help you do things here, and appreciate it, kind of like, you put oil in your car and gas in your car and you wash your car. Well, we need to do the same thing with us, but we just need to love ourselves. Yeah. And
I think I heard that yesterday.
Did you?
Heard that yesterday when we were talking. Okay, so
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, gotta love yourself.
Well, the thing is, honestly, I think what happens is you get an idea and then you kind of sit on it, and it's almost like you need something to help you push through. And what happens is, once you push through, you go, oh, that wasn't so scary. That wasn't so bad. And then everything starts unfolding. But we get really caught up with either being perfect, or it's almost like has to be a thrust for creation. And right now, we are the only thing that's stopping us. There is the veils are down, and it's really, how much do you want to create with infinite intelligence? That's why we're here. We're here to co-create at a really high level. But what we're learning, and that's one of the things I think grandmother represents to me, is the go for it. why not go for it? How can you best serve? The other thing I want to add is there's some sort of fun energy that comes through once you do this. I mean, you might bitch about it at first, but or I might bitch about it at first, you might not. But
Oh, I think all of us do. I think we all have that little squeaky thing in our head that gets us going.
yeah,
Yeah, we've been
but
trained that way.
yeah, but what happens is once you start to do it, the excitement and the momentum carries you, and then it becomes a game. It's like, oh, okay, I can win this game, or I can play this game really well, and it doesn't become so serious. I mean, we've been brought up to be, try to get A's on everything and be highly competitive and really highly critical of everything. And what if you let all of that go and just had fun with your creation,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Like get out of your head and go into your heart and then start feeling what your body's doing, because your body's a huge, huge feedback machine. And your emotions, your feelings are amazing. And while you may, I mean, if you sit and really pay attention to what your body's saying to you, um, there might be some fear because you're stepping into something that's a little different, a little unknown. It's taking a risk, and your body loves to keep you safe.
Yep.
And your little ego, your little I, wants to keep you safe, even if the situation you're in isn't safe. It's recognizable, it's knowable, it's not risky. You know what's going to happen, and it wants to keep you there. But then when you start stepping out of the box, all of a sudden it's yakking at you, and you're feeling the energy growing, and there's this excitement, and you really need to start pushing away and continue. They say the word asking for more signs, but really it's more about the commanding in the field, because the field responds when you command it.
Right.
So, I'll say, show me breadcrumbs, show me something, but, do it. Let me recognize, but let me be completely surprised in the way it comes forward.
Right.
And,
Right.
and the energy shifts are so cool.
And then you realize how powerful you are, and you better really watch what you're doing.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Because any complaints will be self-actualized. So I have a question. I'd love for the audience, because if we're bragging about grandmother Parisha, but it would be, and I do have her flyer ready when we want to do that. But I would love for you to share, if you will, some magical things that have happened when you've been with her, so that they can get a feeling for why they should either show up on Zoom with us, or somehow be there and have the experience, because they don't want to miss this opportunity. They really don't. So could you share a little bit about, since you've done the sun dances, you've done so much with grandmother over the years. You've gone to India with her. You went to Egypt with her. Could you share a little bit about something that you assume is going to be part of this magical experience?
Well, there's always been magic around the ceremonial dance, and that is something that you feel. There's been times just when magic seems to appear. Things might appear in the sky, or answer may come back to you. Or grandmother always says that when you've really touched in, the mists may roll in. The grandfathers, the ancients will come in. And we've been in the middle of ceremony before with the sunshine, where the mists will just roll in and be like a blanket over top of you, like you're in a cozy cocoon. There's been so many magical things as we've traveled, with people showing up, talking about things. There was one where we were working on a particular book. We were doing a study down in Sedona, and we were talking about a particular book. and how we would love to connect in with the author. There was so much there. And it was kind of a story based on what Nassim Haramein is doing with his quantum studies. And with that, Tony walks in and says, I just met the coolest lady he went down into town for something, came back and he said, this lady, she's the one who wrote the book. So we end up meeting her. And it was just from saying, this is what we want to do. And I've had more things around this particular event that have shown up that way, where if I say, I want to be clear that I'm on the right path, and then a truck will drive by with something on it that I recognize as an answer to the question, printed across the side of the truck. So, magic happens, and magic happens for us every day. It's about becoming aware of it. And she is just an absolute teacher of that profound things happen, so that when it happens, you just go, wow. And even in this event with it's been like the energy's kind of been there, and all of a sudden it's just gone boom. Feeling those energy shifts are something that's absolutely magical, and watching it. This is going to be a fantastic event, and what's going to come through right now is a mystery for us. We don't know, but we know it's powerful.
Right.
And it's anchoring in something that none of us at this moment understand.
Right.
And I think you would want to be part of that anchoring in that bringing in, plus the anchoring into your own life of magic, of things that you can
modeling it. You and she and the others are going to model it for us, so we can have our own dance with magic. And that's what but you have to see it and viscerally experience it so that you can call it in for yourself. And that's the magic that we've missed. I mean, the indigenous hold a lot of the keys. We're in a system with the earth, with the biology, basically, of this earth paradigm, and we need to reconnect. That's a lot of it. Is there's all the animals and trees and all of the living beings on this earth. We're the only ones that struggle like this. They don't store or hoard or own. They all trust that the universe provides because they're in this wonderful field. Well, it would benefit all of us to reconnect to that. Mm-hmm. Right. So,
absolutely.
So, is it okay if I show the flyer now? So
yeah, sure.
Okay. So, let's do this. Okay.
There it is.
Can you read it? It's kind of small, but
it is a little bit. But you know what? These things help me sometimes. I
put mine on.
But I really kind of know what's going on anyway. So the event is going to be Sunday, October 2nd. So that's this coming Sunday. It's going to be at the Riverside in Boulder, which is on the corner of Arapahoe and Broadway. The dance itself, we're expecting to be in the park just north. Because of rain, it could shift if it does happen to rain. But right now the plan is to hold it there. And the way it's going to work is doors open around 11:30. We would love for you to be prompt for the ceremony, because it starts right off with a ceremonial dance at 12 o'clock. And we're going to go into working with prayer ties. And there's going to be 2 breaks during the afternoon where really healthy food is going to be available for you, and water and things. This is in a facility that, hosts weddings and things. So they have magic food too. And so there will be some food and snacks for people during the day. We're going to go into teaching time, into the circle, where different people are going to talk about the power of prayer And there will be a lot of handouts, a lot of teaching. Grandmother herself will be speaking for quite a while, an hour or more, an hour and a half, something like that during the program as well. And then we'll break later in the afternoon and then come back to a circle fire where we will use what we learned in the ceremony of the prayer ties. And then we'll also do some drumming, some dance, more sharing, more information. But this is going to be a magic day because it's going to be stepping out of space and time. It's going to be a wonderful, energetic experience for you. There's going to be a lot of information that's presented for you to take in and to even take home in handouts that you can use yourself. And so we've got a QR code on there. So you can scan the QR code and or there's a tiny URL. It's on Eventbrite. You can look for it, One Heart Song with Grandmother Parisha and Friends. And the tickets are it's like basically $44, but this is also a fundraiser for the One Heart Song program for her. So if you have more that you can give and that you can contribute to her as a love offering for her and her programming, I'm hoping we can bring her back again next year, next summer, maybe for even a bigger celebration. And but we don't want to turn anyone away. So as long as you're willing to contribute, there's a way that you can go in there and give your love donation as well. But, one of the teachings about this energy is what you put in, you receive back 10 to 100 to 1,000 fold. So in the teaching of like this circle of energy in giving and receiving, you can't just give and give and give without kind of burning out. You need to open yourself up to receive. And at the same time, you can't take and take and take and take and expect the universe or the quantum field to give you anything back in return. So this is one of the very first lessons of this is the more you give, the more you're going to receive with this. So I would encourage people to be generous because the more you invest yourself into this, the more you're going to get back. And there's also a way, if you can't attend in person, there is a way you can join Zoom. And in that, what you would do is go to PayPal and put in info@lcfhd.org, which is an organization of hers. And if you do contribute, we're asking the price of the ticket, $44, the minimum one. But again, you can give more if you want. And then just in the notes, just put in for the One Heart Song program, and a link to the Zoom will be sent to you. So we want as many people as possible to join in and gather this, because just imagine, and this is what she talks about in One Heart Song, just imagine if 7 billion people joined together in prayer. Just imagine the energy that could be generated or the beautiful things that could happen on this planet if everybody put their love and intention and focus on the betterment of each other and the betterment of the planet. This world would be a completely different place. And that's one of the reasons we're starting with the power of prayer and how you can join in and be part of it.
That's perfect. Well, I'm so glad that you explained about the Zoom, and I'll put that link in the comments as well. The idea of this is a true circle. The reason why the graphic shows grandmother in a circle is that's where we're spinning the energy, and it's palpable. For those of you that are sensitive, we're spinning it so that we create the new world that we want, that's filled with love. It's a grand opportunity to do this at a much higher level than you would think, because this is it's palpable for those of us that feel. Correct, Trina?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, this energy, we want to spin up. And you hear people talk about, yeah, I kind of spun out or spun down, or the energy's dropping or whatever. This is about spinning this energy up, because everything moves in a circle. Everything is in a cycle. And you can learn that by looking at nature. Nature just runs in a cycle. Like Kathy was saying before, nature seems to know how it's done. We're the ones that make it so darn complicated. And so the more we come together in the vibration of what this 3D is, which really is this circular motion, and move ourselves out of the illusions of space and time and move ourselves into this field of magic, which exists anyway. That's the point I really, really want people to know, is that you're constantly working in it. You're constantly in this field creating. That's one of the gifts of being a human being. It's just creating in conscious awareness is what we need to do.
Right. And in joy and love. That's the other thing, is because if you're creating in fear, that's what you will get. If you create in, if you followed the scripts of any narrative, that's what you will get. But you have the capacity to create something remarkable, beautiful, and astonish yourself. I mean, that's really, it's like, that's the game of it, is like, how good can this get? If this whole environment really is for us, and in hindsight, we always see that it's something that's painful at the time. We reflect on it, years later. Oh, that's the turning point that helped me here. So why not try to stay there all the time? Stay that, oh, this just popped up. What's the lesson here? What's the benefit here? And use the energy consciously rather than being a victim of it. It's the difference between swimming in the water and trying to pedal really hard versus standing up and playing the game like checkers or chess and moving the pieces, because it's your game. That's what this energy, the opportunity to play in this energy, does.
Yeah, I have like two little stories to tell around this, and it has to do with this event.
Okay.
So when I first started looking at the potential venue and things, and connected in with the Riverside, and I'm driving up there to meet them, to talk to them, and I said, well, show me a sign, give me something that I'm on the right path, and so I get up there. Of course, the day I picked to go up there, it was like student move-in at CU, and kids all going back to school, and the traffic in Boulder was crazy, and I can't find a parking place. And by the way, parking for this event is across the street to the west in the parking lots for the buildings, the office buildings that are there. So please feel free to park there. And also an Alfalfa's was over there. There's parking in that parking lot too. But anyway, back to the story. So I'm driving around, can't find anything, end up parking over near the Boulder city buildings. And I pull into a parking place, and I'm a little bit late because I couldn't find parking. And I start walking, and I look over, and here's a dollar bill laying in the middle of one of the parking spots. And I ran over, and from some other programs I've been to, I picked this up. And, when you find money like that, you exclaim to the universe, I'm a money magnet, and you're totally excited about the fact that whether it's a penny or a dollar or whatever. And I pick it up and go to put it in my purse, and I look at it, and it wasn't a $1 bill. It was a $100 bill.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, this is telling me that there is abundance. There is a lot coming on this path, moving toward with these guys. So that gave me a message right there that I felt super comfortable walking in and saying, okay, this is going to work. And then another thing, the other day we were talking about, what are we using for the ceremony? And I need to bring a little pine tree. And so I just called, I was talking to somebody, and then I said, they asked, well, is there something I can help? And I said, well, I've got a couple things to get. And I was just sort of rolling with them. And she went, I have a pine tree in a pot. on my porch. You can take it and use it. And I went, now, how many people do you know that keep pine trees in pots on their porch? So, yeah, so that's how easy it can be when you're like in the flow and you're trusting the field to give back to you what it is that that you're working on creating, because all the pieces start dropping in, they all start showing up, and you know exactly that here's another sign. And once you set that intention on awareness and set that intention on the what you want, and the signs start coming, and like Kathy said, you get excited about them when they come, because when your energy gets lifted, then more come, and it's pretty exciting. You begin to notice all those little things.
Well, it's a game. I mean,
It is a
really,
game.
truly, you guys, this wasn't supposed to be a prison planet
No,
and all of that. And it's a school. No. We forgot how magical we are and how we can interact. And when you're in a positive anticipation for something to happen, it does. I mean, it just things like this works, and then this, and you make that phone call, and and that's what you're talking about. But what I want to make sure that people in the audience hear is that whether you're on Zoom or whether you are in circle, the energy is palpable. It is like getting a jump start on your engine for your creativity, for your intuition, to fuel the projects that you want to come in. Not only are we going to be in prayer, but the field will inform. And I don't know how to explain that any better than those words, but it is a visceral experience out of time and space where you connect to really the field that we're in and learn how to work with it rather than just be unaware of it. But that's what you're talking about. I mean, you asked for a sign, you found $100 bill. I wish I would have done that. I find pennies and quarters and
it shocked me. I got to tell you, I have never done that before, but I think my energy field was pretty strong about it,
about success.
It was powerful. Yeah. My energy was powerful at the time when I made the statement. And this really is a chance to step out and learn about how powerful you are.
Well, the benefit is honestly that it's going to be on Zoom as well as in person. So even if the weather's bad or you're having trouble getting out of your chair, I don't know what everyone's situation is. Everyone will benefit from being exposed to this energy, because at some level you will remember it. At some level it will be a invitation to re-engage.
And it is the time for all of us to do that.
Yes.
We got to get out of our houses. We have to get off our couches. We have to quit looking at the things like, this is happening to me or that's happening to me or whatever, and just say, you know what, time for me to step in, like put my big girl pants on or whatever, It's like time for me to really step it up and make a difference in people's lives. And
well, you do, Trina, you and Larry do a wonderful job of seriously supporting and being in service of others. What we're doing is we're explaining that this is why everyone came. This is why you embodied all of the things that you've been through all along have refined you. You're not a victim of anything. You are a refined, wonderful contributor, and we're giving you this wonderful invitation to walk through the door. That's really what it is. I mean, you have all the tools you need. You have all the angels and guides and support team that you need. And this is the time to let's make the changes that'll make this an equitable, loving world. Let's make a a opportunity to have joy as your primary emotion, not regret and shame and blame and all of those things. Those things.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And, you can check out Journeys for Conscious Living's Facebook page, because this event is up on there. I believe Kathy has it up on hers.
Yeah, I'll put it
And
up on more places too. So
yeah, and we really want to encourage people to join in. And, the more you invest in yourself, the more you're going to get out of it. So spend the time and spend some money in giving. That's not a bad word. Money is the vehicle of sharing right now. And, as grandmother has said, it's the chosen means of energy exchange. So we can't bring blankets in and get a plane ticket. We've all decided that this is the way of energy exchange. And so think of it that way, and don't hoard it. Give it freely, because it is magical how things come back to you. And it is magical when you do prayer, the things that show up in your life as well, when you're actually offering to hold a space for others in love and harmony and balance, without judgment, without trying to force something, but whatever is for the highest and best of them. That's the way. As she spoke yesterday about the hurricane, it's not about trying to keep the hurricane from hitting, because the hurricanes balance and help the ionic field of the planet. So it's really, really good for the planet. It's just that there's people that enjoy living in the areas where hurricanes come. And so when we offer up our prayers, it's for whatever is for the best and the highest for them, not necessarily to stop the hurricane, but to offer up prayers so that it's much, much better for them in the recovery and things, in the choices that they've made. So that was an example that she used the other day. Don't pray to make it go away. Pray to support in whatever is needed.
Right. That sounds perfect. Again, the opportunity that we're talking about is a rare opportunity to sit with a grandmother that actually is a bridge between both cultures. She's a Cherokee elder. She grew up with a Cherokee grandmother, but she looks Irish. She really does. And but she doesn't act Irish. And what the opportunity is, I know that there's a lot of interest in learning from the Indigenous. I know because I did an event for World Unity Week where we had 4 grandmothers, Indigenous grandmothers, one from Germany. But I mean, so you can be an Indigenous grandmother from all over the world. It isn't just North America. And what the circle and the way that people share and learn how to communicate in a circle is the future of business. It is the future of us working in community. It is a powerful lesson on its own. But what you're going to find is that this information will serve you for years to come. This is not just an experience, which it is an experience, but this is an experience with many, many gifts, many gifts.
Absolutely. And it's just, it's a blessing for all of us to be able to participate in this. And it gets me excited, because I know it's a different door opening. And when you answer the call, especially when you least expect it, that's the ones that I look at, when my heart jumps and go, yeah, I need to check this out. It opens up a whole new world. So if you're not, as you were talking, Kathy, the one thing that popped in my head is that there is this resurgence of looking toward the Indigenous for wisdom.
Yep.
And I think it's because so many of us have lost our connection to nature. We've lost our connection to that field. And as you were saying, we're reminding ourselves about it. Western culture doesn't talk about that. Western culture doesn't teach it. And we have to look at some of these others to really understand that connection that we have. And so many are being drawn to it right now. So many are on a path looking, and it really, really starts inside.
Yeah.
So it really does.
I think, Western culture, we say we're in the flow, we're using our intuition, we have aspects of this whole way of being, but we don't have it put together. And that's what the opportunity is, for an event like this, to be in circle with grandmother, whether you're on Zoom or in person. What it allows you to do is to really start integrating those other aspects and seeing how to do it. Because again, if we didn't have a grandmother that told us, we didn't live in a little village where our grandmother lived and she took us by the hand and showed us everything, we're missing that piece of our culture. And this is the time where we can use the magic that we learn. So I'm just excited, and thank you, Tina, for all the work that you do for all of this. I mean, I get to help, but you did a lot to have this all happen. Thank you so much.
I appreciate that. And one little thing for people to think about with prayer, and I don't know if you know who Dr. Emoto is, but he's a Japanese scientist who did studies on water and creating water crystals. And when the water was pure and beautiful, the crystals were pure and beautiful. But if the water was tainted in any way, the crystals came out as warped, looking really bad. And then he found that when they taped words on the containers, they could do a sampling, then put a word on, that it would change the form of a crystal. And if you think of yourself as being so much water, what do the bad words, what do the bad thoughts, what do the bad things do to us? We don't have beautiful crystals in us. We end up with these warped little crystals.
Right.
And what he found in the power of prayer, they took this icky, yucky water out of the Sea of Japan and put it, tested it, saw that, and then put a group of people in circle to pray over this water. And when they went back in and tested it, the crystals were beautiful. So that's one example of what prayer can do. And when we just take a little bit of time every day to spend in that, what are we doing to change our body chemistry and our makeup? So that's just a little piece of what you may gain by coming on Sunday.
Well, we want a more peaceful, loving earth. So the more people that'll participate with this, the more opportunity we will have to create that new reality. And it's coming, you guys. It's coming. And we want you to believe in it and participate in it. That's basically the request, the plea here is that please join us as we set the energy for what we really want to create, which is a new, a loving and peaceful world.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Thank you, Trina.
Thank you, Kathy.
Is there anything else that you want to say before we sign off?
No, I'm just going to give you the Zoom link again, too. You just go to PayPal and send your money to info@lcfhd.org and put in the notes that you want to join the Zoom call for One Heart Song program, and they will send you a link to join in.
Wonderful. Okay. Well, I will put that in all the comments on all the page. This is everywhere. So I will put that. And you guys, please, if you miss this opportunity, please keep your eye out. Keep an eye on Trina and grandmother and see where you can participate. Because you can feel the momentum starting with this, that there's going to be more. And so it's such an opportunity for all of us to
absolutely
to re-engage with the power that you are. You are more powerful than you know, and this is an opportunity for you to expand that knowing and work with it at a higher level.
Yep. You be the true you.
Yeah. Yeah.
For sure.
Well, thank you, Trina.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. I can't wait. I'll see you on Sunday.
Definitely. I'll see you on
I'm
Sunday.
sure I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye. Thank you, Kathy.
Bye. Thank you.